Hello, welcome out there to a John Cancio presentation. I am John Cancio. Joining me today, I have psychic medium Julie MacDonald. But Julie is going to be interviewing me today, so she's turning the tables.
Yes. Yeah, I'm so excited
So
about it. So
that's kind of exciting right there, huh?
It is. It's really exciting.
And you are a psychic, so let's tell them a little bit about yourself before you do the interview for me.
Okay.
You are a psychic medium.
I am. I'm a psychic medium, and I've been a guest on
True
Talk. Yeah.
Okay.
So I work in the Albany area and actually all around, working with people individually. I do events, and I love doing things like being on John Cancio programs.
That's true. And you have a website that if the audience wants to know more about you.
Right, yeah. If you want to know more about me, you can go to mediumjuliemacdonald.com. Find out everything you ever wanted to know and more about me.
Well, very cool. So Julie's going to turn the tables today, I'm going to let you take it away.
Awesome, thank you. I'm so excited about this.
Well, I appreciate you doing this as well. So.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So, John, you have True Talk,
yes,
which is a psychic talk show at this point. Variety with John and Anna, and you have the True Talk Journal.
Yes.
Wow. Okay,
yes.
So that's a lot for someone as well. You look very young to me, but for someone as young as you, and I understand that you started doing TV shows at age 12. Is that right?
Yeah, I was. I don't know how old I was, but I was a baby.
Yeah.
I really was. I was a baby.
Yeah, I saw some of the clips, and you look like a baby. So what? Yeah. Tell me about that. How did that happen? How did you suddenly, at 12 years old, wind up running a TV show, hosting a TV show?
That's a good question. I think that it really started because there was a void in my life, really. And I think that really pain is what brought me to do it. Maybe not feeling loved, not feeling like feeling emptiness, feeling like I was missing something. And I think that's what's drawn me to do it.
So tell me, John, for a lot of children who do have an emptiness or they have pain, for a lot of them it winds up taking a very negative turn. They may get into bullying other children. They may get into fights. They may have problems in school. But so how is it that you managed at an age like that to take a difficulty and channel that into a creative outlet to begin expressing yourself and creating a forum for other people to also
Well, I think,
express.
like you said, some people do drugs, some people drink. I did shows.
Right.
Even as a kid, I did. So it's pretty crazy when I think about it, and I never really thought about it till recently, really.
Right.
And it really does stem from the emptiness that I felt as a person. And I feel like I would always do something entertainment no matter what.
Right.
Even if I weren't doing shows or whatever it was, I would always do something. And I always have done something, Even at the points where I wasn't doing shows for a little while, I was always doing something in that field.
So do you feel like it, initially at least, part of it was that if you were sort of performing, you could take that boy that was wounded, or the boy that was lonely, or the boy that had all of this stuff going on inside of him, and create someone different, create another reality for yourself?
I do. I think so. I think it is like another reality somewhere that you can go, and it's sort of crazy because people don't really realize like how much. And I don't want to complain or anything because I love doing it, obviously. But it's kind of crazy, like all the work you put into it for this one little moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you do all this preparation and all this work for this 1 hour thing or this 30-minute thing. That's, you know what I mean? So it just goes to prove, like, that's like a deep emptiness right there.
Right.
To put 20 hours into something just to get that little tiny moment of satisfaction.
Right. So, John, are you comfortable talking a little bit about that emptiness, sharing it with the audience?
Yeah. I think it's because a lot of it, my mom I don't want to say abandoned me, but she wasn't there from like 7 to 10, and I never really thought that had anything to do with it. But now that I look back, maybe it did.
Right.
You know, so I lived with my grandmother through those years from like 7 to 10. And I come from a very loving family, and my mom is very loving, and she's very supportive. And, you know, I think that she feels guilty still to this day. But, and I don't blame her at all. I don't have any, like, resentment or blame towards my mother at all. But my parents weren't really there during that pivotal point. Like 7 to 10, you're like developing, and that's like a really important time where you're becoming like who you are as a person. So I think during those years, that just made me feel like really empty.
Right. And I know that your grandmother has a big influence in your life, because I'm often hearing sayings from your grandmother. My grandma always says. So, so obviously, even though there was that, it sounds to me like even though there was that child that said, hey, who am I if my parents aren't here? What does that mean about me? And all of that. During those formative years, at least you still had, you know, some positive influence that obviously is part of what helped keep you from going onto the streets or going into drugs or alcohol or what have you. Do you think?
No, there was a lot of love. A lot of love. But maybe there wasn't... maybe I wasn't taught enough responsibility, certain things.
Like what? Like what? What do you mean? Because it seems to me you're very responsible. You have 2 shows, and you've been doing shows since you were 12. To me, that makes me think of someone that's incredibly responsible, and the True Talk Journal, and so.
Well, that's where I put it into, I guess. But there was definitely some disservices. I mean, maybe I won't get into it too much, but you know, I've often asked myself if I could have a completely different life and take everything that I've done away and be a completely different person and not have done anything I've done. I mean, obviously I'm not like a famous person or anything like that, but if I can just take back every show and all those moments and be a different person, I might.
Really? I can't even imagine the world being with a different John than the John that I know. You know,
like I would give it all up just to be a different person.
Would you?
I think I would. I know it's incredibly sad.
Yeah, well, I understand, like on a level, I understand what you're saying, but the part of me, again, that watches what you do, that sees how you sort of open up the world and the community for people to learn things, to be exposed to different things, and especially on True Talk, not only do you help those who are doing this work by getting them out there, but there's so many people who are touched in so many ways. And so, yeah, to think about, wow, you know, this isn't really... At this point in your life, you're feeling like I would be someone different, or I would do it differently. It is sad, and it's also very surprising to me, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I wouldn't change who I am in this right now.
Right.
But if I could start all over and be a different person, I would. If that makes any sense. I don't know. Does it?
I'm not sure if it does. I think that it's. So you're saying, in other words, that. Because my feeling about it is that all of those things created who you are now. That was the fuel to... So if we're in a place of being okay with who we are now, without those things, you wouldn't be who you are. You understand?
And that's kind of like the point.
Yeah.
So that really brings up the question of, like, self-love.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that it's an unusual thing, honestly. I think that there's... a lot of people in the world that, you know, struggle with that. And I always believe that that's part of why we're here anyway. You know, is to find that love within ourselves, share it with other people, and that increases. But I know, going back to your mom, And you were talking about when you were younger, she wasn't there, and that you had felt abandoned by her. But I've noticed that Mom is at every True Talk taping, well, that I've ever either been on or been to. Mom is right there. She's checking off names. She's right there behind the scenes, taking care of everything. So it seems like she's very involved now and very supportive. Do you want to? Can you say some things about that?
No, she's an amazing person. Actually, she's probably the nicest person, like, genuinely, that I've ever met. Without an agenda or a motive or a self-fulfilling need of hers. Like, she's really a nice person. So I think what happened wasn't her fault at all. So I don't blame her whatsoever. I'm just stating the fact that it happened.
Right. And I don't think that any parent plans on that happening, no matter how we may view it or other people may view it from the outside. I don't know of any person that says, hey, I think I want to have children and then abandon them, or I want to have children and then not be there for them. I want to have children and be mean to them.
Such a crazy word, but
But that was the feeling in you.
Right, yes.
And our feelings are what they are. But your mom seems very humble.
Yes,
She's a very humble person, and she's gorgeous.
She's an amazing
If you guys
person,
haven't seen John's mom, come to True Talk. She's gorgeous. Gorgeous woman.
I have no blame towards her. I'm actually grateful for her. In so many ways. I'm just thinking out loud as to why I feel the way I feel. Right.
Well, it's interesting.
And I mean, I didn't have anybody supportive growing up. I didn't have anybody that supported me and said, do that.
So how did you do that, John? How did you just walk into a TV studio and say, hey, I want to make a show. And did they laugh? Because you're 12 years old.
Well, at 7 years old, I started watching the Ricky Lake Show. I was like a fan of the Ricky Lake Show, and I was like a big fan of hers. And I saw her doing it, and I was like, I want to do that at 7 years old.
Wow.
I would watch her, like the very first year she was on air. And then, I would pretend, and I would do that. And I just got into music, enjoying music and stuff like that. And then by 10 years old, I moved on the street. I met these amazing people who were like community activists. They did things for the community, just to for stuff for the kids to do and stuff like that in the Eastern Avenue community. And they believed in me. They would have me DJ these block parties at 10 years old.
Wow.
So I'd bring in my little crate of CDs and my little boombox, and I'd DJ these block parties for people at like these churches. And, I was playing like Michael Jackson. And, like, some pretty hip stuff, but people would dance, they'd get into it and stuff. And I did it several times as a kid at 10 years old.
Wow.
That's how early I started. And then by 12, I did like a little fake radio thing on my little cassette tapes. And I would call people and just do like little interviews on cassette tapes.
Wow.
And then at one of these parties that I was DJing, I met Carla Page, who does television.
Right. Well known in the community.
She's well known in the community. And she was like, wow, you're a little kid DJing. Because I was literally like 11 years old, like 10, 11 years old. She's like, you're a kid DJing. And she was impressed. She's like, come on my show.
Oh, wow.
She's like, you need to come on my show. That's too cute that you're such a little kid. So somehow we didn't connect. And then like a few months later, I saw her at Friendly's. And I said, hey, I want to come on your show. She said, I have one like in 2 days or something like that. And I went down and she's like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'll sing. And she's like, okay, come and sing. And then when I got down there to sing, I was afraid to sing.
Were you?
I was afraid to sing. But when I met her at the block party, here's the connection.
Okay.
Because I said I liked Ricky Lake.
Yes.
And I would record Ricky Lake at that age on VHS tapes. I said, I saw you on Ricky Lake. And that's one of the things that impressed Carla Page. Because she was a guest and she was in the audience of the Ricky Lake show. And she said some some outrageous stuff on the show about talking to her boobies.
Yes. Well, there's yes, because Miss Page is well known for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she said that if you talk to them, they will grow. So that's one of the things she said. So as a kid, I went up to her and I said, "Hey, I watched you on the Ricky Lake show." So there's the connection. After she saw that I was, she was impressed with that. Wow, this little kid watched me on the Ricky Lake show and knows who I am.
Right.
So she asked me to come on. I came on, and we did a little segment. I didn't sing, but I just did a segment on how I met her, and we said we met through Ricky Lake.
Oh wow!
You
But
know.
you didn't, at 11 years old, talk about her breast story on.
We
on
showed the
Ricky Lake.
clip.
Did you really?
We did.
Okay.
We showed
Wow.
the clip. So,
Interesting.
And then after that, I was like, wow, this is really cool. After being on her show.
Right.
And of course, I was terrible at doing it, but I still wanted to learn and try it.
Right.
So then I figured out how to do it.
Wow.
I don't even know how.
Right.
But
Well,
there
I've
was
seen. I've seen some of your clips, and I've watched them over the years, and
Yeah.
and I've seen you go from this very adorable, charming little kid, and as I'm watching, I'm just thinking, oh, look how cute he is. But you could see where there was the immaturity of age, but also of not being experienced and doing it. So there was a certain rawness to it,
that you
and
never really get
innocence
back.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
just kinda
over the
sad.
years, it seems as though you've really evolved, and you've grown as a host. You've grown as within your own self-confidence, I think. Although you seemed pretty confident in some of those
Yeah.
clips
Yeah.
in the past. And you would have other kids on when you were
Oh,
younger.
yeah. It was like a kid's show. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were called, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's John Crazy J. Cancio, right?
It was. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I was a crazy kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still a little crazy, but
You are a little crazy.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. But now you're a little more refined, so now
That's
you're
right, that's
you're just the forever John Cancio,
That's
correct?
right. The forever John Cancio.
Forever John Cancio, yeah. So tell me, can we talk a little bit about your show? So
Yeah.
one of the shows that you do is with Anna Hall.
Yes.
Variety with John and Anna.
Yes.
And how did that start? The two of you met in college, I think, is
We
the
did. We
Yeah.
did. Yeah. We met in college, and she's into the arts. She's an actress. She's an amazing actress, much better than I am. And we came up with a concept to do True Talk together with an
really?
audience.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was my idea, and she was involved in it. She was going to host it with me. Somehow that didn't work. I ended up doing it by myself. And that was put on hold, and then the opportunity came for us to do a show again together, and we did Variety with John and Anna, and we did that. We started that in 2010, but I mean, we're still like really close friends.
Right, right. You can see that between you on even
Yeah.
it comes across on camera. You have a nice chemistry together.
Yeah.
So she was originally going to do True Talk with you,
She was.
which
yeah.
started out as just a different sort of show with guests with a live audience, and now it's nearly exclusively a psychic talk show. So how did that evolve into
I mean,
that?
last year we did a couple different topics. We did a pet show, and we also did wine tasting and food tasting episode. So we still do other stuff on occasion, but you're right, it's mainly psychic stuff. I think that's just what the audience wants.
Right.
And if the audience wants it, then I
Right.
think that's what we should give them.
Right.
So that's really how it turned into a psychic show.
I would imagine that you have, and again, I've been on there myself, and I enjoy it, but you
did
you
a
have
great
all
job
different.
as
Oh, thank
well,
you,
every
thank you.
time.
There's a lot of different guests that come on. There's a lot of different people with different backgrounds, different skill level, different personalities.
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering, like, maybe some time when you've been on there, if there have been times when it gets like a little bit crazy, a little bit like you feel like all of a sudden, wait, what happened? It's my show and it's not quite, I don't have the reins in my hands. Has that happened before? In terms
She's
of it?
talking about Psychic Tita.
I'm talking about psychic gone wrong.
Yes,
right?
Psychic gone wrong.
And
yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have a Do we have a clip of that?
I believe we do have a clip.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna let's watch the clip and then we can talk about that.
Clip first. And
yeah.
We'll talk about it.
It's a great
Sounds
clip.
like an idea.
I've written this script, and I want more than anything else this one wish for this my song, because I sang it for my dad before, just a week before he passed on, and he liked it and he said he was going to be listening for it, and he didn't know he was going to pass the next week, and I didn't. And the song, it's like it was meant to be, just meant to be written, and I want to know, is there any future for it? Am I ever going to get anywhere with it, to have it recorded by anybody where it's going to be played on the radio?
Not until he learns a certain lesson. He has to own up to some of the things he's done.
My father? Oh, I don't understand what you mean.
Well,
I mean, he passed away. He was a very good man.
well, reincarnation.
But now, how does that affect my song, though?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well.
I was wondering, because I wrote the song and I sang it for him, but is there any hope for my song that I is anybody going to ever record it nationwide that it's going to be heard on the radio?
He'll be back, he'll reincarnate. And he probably, when did he die?
A year ago, November.
He probably hasn't come back yet in another life.
I don't think she understands.
She's wondering about her song. She wrote a song, and she wants to know if it's going to get recognition.
Your face during that clip, John, was priceless. How did you even know what to do? You were sort of, that was a really awkward spot. I mean, the poor woman asking the questions kept saying the same thing. And I don't know if Psychic Tita was having hearing problems. I don't really know, because it was almost like they were in parallel, different universes altogether. Like, you could have put a completely different person in question there, and maybe Psychic Tita was answering someone else's. So I don't know how you held that together.
I don't know either. I don't. I cherish those moments, though.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Even though, they're awkward and some of them are wacky, I really cherish those moments. They're really entertaining.
Right.
Like, that clip should have, like, 1 million views.
It really should.
It
really
should. That's really good.
We're going to work on that. We're going to put it out there more, because everyone should see Psychic Tita.
They should. That's priceless.
It is.
You can't pay for something like that.
You can't make it up either.
No, you can't make that up. Definitely.
But you did a great, again, I think that just is a testimony to your skills as a host.
Oh, thank you.
That you were able to, pull it together, hold it together, but at the same time still make it entertaining within the sort of blooper of it, if you will, without it being where you were making Psychic Tita look bad about it.
And still looking like I know what's going on
Right.
at the same time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you did a really good job. But
Thank you.
Speaking of bloopers, though, John, sometimes you don't quite hold yourself
Together
all the way.
True.
And
especially when I'm with you. That's when it happens the most.
Yeah, there's something that happens when John and I are together where we get, we'll let you see, right? We should just let them see for themselves, and then I think it's self-explanatory.
Hello, welcome to Variety with John and Emma.
I'm a G.
That's a part. Wait, I can't even do this. All right. So welcome to the show. We're just going to keep going, even though I just messed up, because that was pretty cool, right? I think it was. What do you guys think? That was cool, right? Yeah. I am the forever John Cancio, and we've got Anna Got Them All Hall here with us, and co-hosting with us we have psychic medium Julie MacDonald.
Thank you so
That's
much.
so exciting.
We are very excited to have you here. So, hi, Anna.
What's so funny?
I'm thinking about how I opened the show.
He was channeling Mama.
All right, I don't know what's wrong with me today, but I'm sorry. So, yeah, I was.
I just look over and you're like, cheesing.
He's got the giggles over here.
Okay,
You
so
can't laugh because I'm going to not be able to talk.
So you're pretty much the tool, the medium that
Yes. So,
brings it from one place.
what happens when I channel, for instance, is that I go into with you. There is, you know what's
I can't breathe.
it's really interesting is that
Is this gonna mess up now?
you're gonna have smudges.
Wait, because my eyes are tearing. Is it gonna mess up?
It's fine.
Mine is-
Don't wipe it.
Wait, because I'm starting. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's get back to it.
All right, wait, I got So luckily that didn't happen today.
Yes, we
Yeah.
got through it pretty good.
We did because
Yeah.
I think that our technical director Tim was about at his wit's end with us that day.
Your poor Tim.
I know Tim's great. He's great. He's so
fantastic.
patient when we're together.
He is.
So John, in sort of obviously there's so much more to be
Right,
said about you. There's so much more out there. And how can people see more of your videos and shows in that, John?
You can go on YouTube.
On YouTube.
YouTube.com/SpanishJC.
Okay. And when does True Talk air on
I
TV?
have no idea. You're asking me this.
But it airs on Channel 16, correct?
It does. It's
And
connected.
Channel 18 in
In
Albany,
Albany, yes.
right? They just
So-
picked that up not
Yeah.
too long ago. So look in your local listings for more John Cancio,
Yeah.
for shows
You would
that...
put me on the spot like that.
I know. Because we had to close it out with a little,
Right,
right. laughter and
Yeah.
levity.
I just
and all
hope I
that.
didn't come across like I was complete, because I'm not at all. I was
No,
just
I know.
being honest about
Right,
things.
right. I think it's good. I think that it's good that we got to see, part of the inner parts of John, and not just
Yeah.
the. I think you're a superstar, by the way. You said
Thank
you're
you.
not a star, but I think you're a superstar. And
I appreciate that.
So in closing, let me just ask you this, John. Can you tell me a little? What's your vision for the future?
You know
What would
what?
you
I
like
just
to do?
want to keep doing what I do. I'm not worried about finances, about trying to be this big famous
Right.
rich person.
Right.
I just want to always done what I've always done.
Right, right.
just
Well,
enjoy
we are
So-
so glad that you do what you do.
Well, thank you very
And,
much, and I really appreciate you doing this for me as well. So,
Oh, it's my
and
pleasure.
I think you are talented.
Thanks.
You're like the top.
The top.
when it comes to
we have like a mutual
Yes.
we have a mutual admiration society thing going
See
on
that?
here. Yeah. It's sort of
It's the Illuminati.
it's really Illuminati. So, John, thank you so much,
Thank you.
and
I really
so look
appreciate
forward
that.
to all the many more things that you have to bring
Thank you
to
so
the
much.
community.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.